Okay, y'all really need to get in on this right now because Bryshere Gray's OnlyFans just leaked, and the drama is absolutely wild. Bryshere isn't keeping quiet about anything. He's straight up pointing fingers at Diddy, claiming Diddy is the reason he had to go the OnlyFans route because Diddy messed up his life and left him homeless. The allegations against Diddy just keep piling up and getting crazier every time. Bryshere is ready to tell his true story, and it's not looking good. Now, if you're wondering what on earth happened to Bryshere Gray and how he went from starring on Empire, one of the biggest shows at the time, to opening an OnlyFans account where he posts adult content, it's something we did not expect to see. But hey, here we are. And according to Bryshere, this has Diddy's hands all over it. We've heard whispers about Diddy's alleged antics with Bryshere before, but this is the first time Bryshere is laying it all out. Let's just say it kind of explains why he's now running an OnlyFans account and pretty much living on the fringes of Hollywood. Bryshere was one of the breakout stars in Empire, and fans have been scratching their heads about how things never took off for him after that. Turns out, his departure wasn't exactly by choice. Allegedly, some big wigs like Diddy forced him out and nudged him towards OnlyFans after Empire wrapped up. Everyone had high hopes for Bryshere Gray's career, but things didn't pan out as expected. When Bryshere was a teenager, he met Charlie Mack, who would later become his manager. Using his Hollywood connections, Charlie scored Bryshere an online audition for Empire, and voila, Bryshere landed the role of Hakeem Leon on one of the hottest shows on TV at the time. A few weeks after that, Charlie introduced Bryshere to none other than Will Smith, and they hit it off in a mentor-mentee type of way. You'd think having Will Smith in his corner would be a huge boost for Bryshere, right? Well, it turns out, not so much. Allegedly, Will introduced Bryshere to Diddy because Bryshere had dreams of being a rapper, and Will wanted to help him break into the music scene. In hindsight, this should have been a huge red flag. Bryshere definitely should have sprinted in the other direction. But back then, no one knew the skeletons in Diddy's closet. Bryshere thought he was safe and believed Diddy would make him into the next big star, given Diddy's clout as the owner of Bad Boy Records and his tight relationship with Will Smith. For context, there have been whispers for over 20 years suggesting that Diddy and Will Smith were on the down low together, with multiple industry insiders accusing them of some hanky-panky with other men. The really shady part, though, is the allegations that they did some unspeakable, non-consensual acts to other men in the industry. Bryshere, unaware of those dark rumors, thought he was in safe hands, hoping for a big break that never quite came. For example, Alexis Arquette, who knew Will on a personal level, spilled the tea that Will's first marriage to Sheree Zampino ended because Sheree caught him in bed with a man. Alexis wrote, "When Jeda comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked in on him servicing his sugar daddy, Benny Medina, then I will listen to him." She, being his first wife, was paid off to stay silent. Alexis Arquette wasn't the only one spilling tea on Will Smith. Jaguar Wright came through with even juicier gossip, claiming that Will had affairs with multiple younger men in the industry. According to her, he played this mentor card, but then turned it into a full-blown relationship drama, leaving these guys totally shook. And guess who she named as one of them? Bryshere. Young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August, the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed help. Makes you wonder what kind of mentoring Will was doing with Bryshere, right? And then, he supposedly hooked him up with Diddy for some music mentoring. But Bryshere's music career never popped off, even with two of the biggest names in the game backing him. I mean, if you've got Diddy and Will Smith in your corner, and your career still isn't taking off, there's definitely some shady business going on. And let's not forget that Diddy has been under investigation by the feds for allegedly being intimate with younger men without the consent of said men. According to reports, during a debriefing session with federal investigators, James Rosemond, the music manager turned coke kingpin, was reportedly questioned about the sexual preferences of entertainers, including whether scene Diddy Combs was having intimate relationships with underage boys, according to a U.S. District Court filing. It wasn't until Cassie's lawsuit dropped that Diddy got called out for real. Cassie spilled it all, saying that Diddy had a thing for male escorts and would make her join in these wild freak-offs, watching or even getting involved herself. Cassie's lawsuit gave other victims the courage to come forward. Since then, we've heard from several people, like producer Little Rod, who detail how Diddy allegedly messed with him, and even encouraged others to do the same. It sounds a lot like what he allegedly did to Bryshere, right? And speaking of Bryshere, after Empire wrapped, his life just spiraled. Some say it was his own choice, but plenty believe he was acting out because of what went down in the industry. Let's be real, that kind of thing would mess with anyone's head. After Empire, Bryshere dropped some songs that were hitting it big, and he was gearing up for a tour. But out of nowhere, it was like he got blackballed from the whole scene. His movie roles dried up, and the music industry didn't want to touch him. His songs disappeared from the airwaves. Back then, folks said he rubbed some big shots the wrong way by not playing their game, leading to his own exile. But now the truth's coming out, and it's looking shady. His ordeal left him badly messed up, just like Jaguar Wright said about Will Smith. Remember when she called out Will for supposedly mentoring dudes into messed up situations? Yeah, Bryshere was definitely shaken up and started acting out. Allegedly, that's why Bryshere was shaken up and started acting out himself. Back in July 2020, there was this wild scene where Bryshere's wife, Candace, ran into the streets, stopping folks and begging for help. She said she was a victim of DV, and her husband was getting aggressive with her. One good Samaritan took her to the cops, and that's when she dropped the bomb and claimed that she was Bryshere's wife. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Up first tonight, we're following breaking news and the arrest of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight, we're seeing hours of new video from the July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had her for hours inside their Goodyear home. She told the police a sad tale of Bryshere allegedly laying his hands on her, even choking her until she passed out. She claimed their argument had escalated when she confronted him about how he had been cheating on her, and this sent him into a rage. After that whole drama, Bryshere got hit even harder. He faced felony aggravated assault charges, plus misdemeanors for assault and disorderly conduct. His mugshot went viral, and folks on social media were shocked, speculating about whether he was on drugs or something else. Eventually, he was charged with DV and got slapped with 10 days in county jail and 3 years probation. After that mess, he tried to bounce back in Hollywood like a newcomer, even willing to take big pay cuts for a shot. But that blacklist was no joke, and he just couldn't catch any breaks. Things got rough, and he ended up broken, homeless, and had to find other ways to hustle. If you catch my drift. When the pictures and videos leaked from his OnlyFans, people were in disbelief, thinking it was all fake. But then he dropped proof on Twitter, owning up to his off career, and his Twitter bio is something else to say the least. Now he's speaking up, saying Diddy put him on such a deep blacklist that nobody in the industry wanted anything to do with him. Supposedly, Diddy gave him an ultimatum: either play along as his plaything or watch his career crash and burn. But Bryshere was too messed up from all the trauma to go back to Diddy, and with bills piling up, OnlyFans became his last resort. Fans commented, "Bryshere Gray resorting to OnlyFans is not surprising at all. Bryshere Gray being an OnlyFans girl was not on my bingo card for this Sunday, and I actually feel bad for this era of Bryshere Gray. People resorting to being sex workers is not normal and is normally associated with a negative lifestyle. This looks like yet another life ruined by Diddy."